This morning, Megan's here with us and Dr. Dana Zaklik to join us to talk a little bit more about this and this journey. And it's just very important to talk about, I think. But I have to ask you, in that moment, take us inside when you were on the phone. What were you feeling inside? That had to be terrifying.
It was terrifying, but I love that I had my dad there to support me. So I knew that I wasn't alone. And then regardless of those results, being proactive, knowing that there are next steps, knowing that I don't have to wait until I'm 40 to do a mammogram. So that they were gonna help me. And that scene where you see, like in that moment where she's saying, it's overwhelming, but we're gonna be there with you. That meant a lot.
Dr. Zaklik, talk about why it is that so many people, even someone with a family history, that her doctor would recommend prior to you that she doesn't need to get the test, the BRCA test.
We're still trying to get the word out about genetics and all the factors that go into making people be increased risk. Genetics is a relatively new area in medicine. I think a lot of people forget to take a family history because they're dealing with more acute, seemingly more serious conditions. And so we're still educating our physicians as well as the public to know your family history, know the risk factors, and know that genetic testing is out there. It's been out there actually for almost 20 years. And it's really something that empowers patients to be able to take control, do early detection, prevention, and really change their future risk to much lower than it would otherwise have been.
I'm just curious though, when you say prevention, so if she found out that she did carry that gene, then what could she do to ward off cancer?
Yeah, we know that there are a number of things that you can do to lower risk. Certainly there are lifestyle factors. You can be more proactive about exercise, diet, keeping your weight ideal. But we now have a growing list of medications to lower risk. We have high-risk surveillance, better imaging, really very, very sensitive MRI technologies. We start at a younger age because we know individuals with a BRCA have their risk go up really in their 20s. So we start MRIs as young as 25, mammograms perhaps as young as 30. So a lot of things and a growing list of things that are now in development that are just going to make the future even brighter.
And I'm curious, anybody watching out there that might think they're a good candidate, what makes that, well, I guess, what should they look for to know that they're a good candidate for this?
Yeah, some of the red flags are either a personal or family history of young onset breast cancer or even ovarian cancer, or a combination of certain cancers such as pancreatic, ovarian, breast. So really know your family history, talk to your doctor, and don't be afraid. This really leads to very helpful information.
And Megan, this was eye-opening in terms of your family history, because while you knew that your grandmother had cancer, you didn't know that other family members did as well.
No, and I think that is something I can take away from this, not being afraid to ask family.
Yeah.
That, it's uncomfortable, but you need to know.
Right.
And then asking your doctor, what can I do about this? And that you're not too young to ask those questions, to be curious. I think that is the biggest takeaway. You're not too young.
This is really brave of you to share this publicly.
Thank you.
This was overwhelming, and to go through that emotion in front of everyone it's very vulnerable, and I applaud you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's going to help a lot of people. That's another big part of it. I think Dr. Zaklik would agree with that too.
Absolutely.
Getting
This
the
is
word out.
really rewarding for me to be involved with this and see all the great outcomes that we're seeing by people taking active steps.
Yes, and we already covered the fact that it's $25 to $50 for the test, so it's not like it's a big medical expense.
It depends on your insurance, but yeah, it doesn't cost as much as people would think.
It's great. And thank you so much for being with us, both of you.
Yeah, sharing
I know,
your
it's
story.
awesome. It's so important.